Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we were seeing what is the meaning of Annam here when he says Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. From rain arises food. So what it looks like apparently is very obvious. When there is rain, there will be food. So as a sadhak, you should never be satisfied with what is obvious. You should always learn to penetrate, go deep, and find that which is not obvious. Usually that is only the truth. This is not true with respect to merely these verses. This is true with life itself. You are seeing this world as flat. See, when we look at this world, it looks flat only, no? We are walking on the ground, it looks flat. So to conclude that the world is flat is a very superficial understanding. That only shows that the mind is very superficial. So just because you see the world is flat, it doesn't become flat. When you go deep within an inquiry, you will find that no, it is spherical. Everything in life is like that. What you see obviously, what hits you obviously need not necessarily be the truth. See, when you move with people, when you assess them, you generally go by whatever their behavior is. That is, you conclude just based on their behavior without any further analysis. So this is what Shakespeare said, all that glitters is not gold. Just because something is glittering from outside doesn't mean now that's very valuable, that's gold. In Tamil language, there is a beautiful saying, Kannal காண்பதும் பொய் காதால் கேட்பதும் பொய் தீர விசாரிப்பதே மெய், which means what you see with your eyes is false, what you hear with your ears, that is also false. Tira visaripade me means when you investigate thoroughly, only then you will get to know the truth. So we have this tendency generally, when I say we, I mean the mind. The mind has this tendency to just look at things in a superficial way and come to some conclusion which is usually far, far away from truth. You see a person crying, immediately you say he is a pessimistic person. See, instant conclusion, the judgment you pass, or a person is sweet to you, he talks in a sweet way. Oh, he's such a nice person. On what basis are you saying that? Just because a person has spoken a few sweet words to you, does that make that person very nice? How do you know what that person's motive is? I am not saying you should doubt everyone. I am only talking about that tendency of the mind to conclude immediately and then stop any further analysis or even an attempt. It stops off all attempts to find out what the truth is. So Ramana Maharishi, he kept saying Tuppari. Tuppari means investigate. That's what he did. Am I this physical body? See, I'm only telling you the spiritual application. Once you learn that capacity to investigate, it can be applied as a spiritual sadhana directly. So he analyzed, am I this physical body? No. I'm able to observe my own physical body. So then I am different. So am I this mind? Am I these thoughts? Who am I? He kept on investigating and he got the experience of that infinite self. So that's why he used to tell people, Tuppari means investigate. So first you should start off in your worldly experiences. If you don't have the patience to find out what is good for me or what is the truth, I'm talking of relative truth, truth with respect to worldly experiences. How are you going to do the higher investigation, which is who am I and all that? You seem to have no time in life, basically. That itself is so absurd, no? Because time is our making only. And then you become a slave of time. I have no time, some people say. If you say I have no time for non-essentials, okay, but I have no time for essentials. Some people, they don't eat properly. They say, I don't have time, I don't have time. No, you don't even have time for eating properly. You don't even have time for sleeping peacefully. Then what is the use of that life? Secondly, if you don't do all this, you can't even work productively in office. Your work will suffer. The quality of your work will suffer after a while. So never ever say I don't have time for essentials. So one of the most essential approach which you need to build towards life in general is this capacity to investigate, not merely take it on face value. Whether it is with respect to people, whether it is with respect to situations. So in the yogic approach, we are not really satisfied with the superficial meaning. From rain arises food. This is taught in the schools to children. Now, after so many years, are we sitting here and Do we really require the Bhagavad Gita to teach us this, that from rain arises food? You will be surprised. There are many people who are satisfied with that kind of explanation. Oh, Bhagavad Gita says from rain arises food. Some people say. See, what he is giving is at a very high level. You need to have that yogic approach. See, in the Sunday sessions, when the yogic approach is used to get the deeper meaning, without your knowledge, you're also, apart from the different messages, without your knowledge, you're also absorbing the very nature of yogic approach. So it will make you more deep. If you don't have that depth, you will just get carried away by superficiality. 100 people will do something. Does it mean now you also have to do it? You take fashion and all that, it keeps changing every week, every month. Now, what is the basis on which that fashion is decided? One person decides, many people follow that. Immediately, all others also start following it, just blindly. And what is interesting is, sometimes, or I would say most of the times, the same thing which, the same style of clothing which people wore, let's say 50 years back, again comes back as fashion. Now you need to think about it. If this is so good and this is fashionable, then why was it rejected at that time? That is why it got changed, no? So there is no reason for rejecting something also. There is no reason for accepting also. It is just a herd instinct. Others are doing it, so I'll also do. So you should stand out. See, you should think on your own and decide what you want to do in life. Not go by superficiality. A latest model cell phone comes. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong in buying it. All I'm saying is, they'll just say this one feature is there, this feature is there, something is there. So immediately you will jump and you will change your phone. Your phone will be in good condition. You will be enjoying it also. But this has become a craze now, so let me buy. Everybody is saying it's good. If you just pause and analyze, okay, the features, whatever the extra features which they are claiming to give, do I really require it? Am I going to use those features? Is it adding any value to my experience? After thinking, and if your answer is yes, go ahead buying, no problem. But there is absolutely no thinking at all, no depth in your perception. Just because others are doing, no, you just follow. There was a child who was sent to the school first day, the kindergarten first day. And the first day all children keep crying because it's a new experience for them. So this boy, he was a little bold. So he went to the class and all the children were crying. So for 5 minutes, he just kept quiet, he was observing. And then he also started crying. So the parents from a distance was observing this, were observing this, and then the first day it was just for an hour or so for the children to just get used to the environment. So they came back, the boy just came back whistling, singing some song. Till one moment before he was crying, but now he was very happy. So then the parents asked him, why did you go and cry? The boy's answer was very interesting. Did you really feel sad? He said, no. Because he was already mentally prepared. The parents had prepared him. Then why did you cry? Everybody was crying, so I also cried, he said. If a child says that, it is okay. But as an adult, if you are doing the same thing, then the internal growth is really not there, no? So, if you see the superficial meaning, from rain arises food, and then next is for food arise beings. So, this is very obvious and simple. So, I want you to develop that habit of investigating and finding out what's happening in your life. So, last week we saw Annam. The first dimension of Annam is food. So, I was explaining to you what is food, that which sustains, that which causes growth, and that which gives nutrition and strength. That is what food is meant for. So, what is the application in your life? Whatever it is that you choose, ensure that it will sustain you in that field. See, for example, if you are, let's take the example of finance. If you are investing your money in something, it has to sustain. I know people who just simply lose money and become very bad financially just in a matter of few days because of the greed, and they get fooled and they take heavy risks and all that. So it has to sustain, then it has to grow also. I am giving you a practical example of finance because this can be applied anywhere, and it has to give you nutrition. Means nutrition and strength means the financial strength should grow. So whether it is choosing your finances, whether it is choosing what clothes you want to wear, choosing literally your food which you are eating. Are you eating nutritious food? You have to ask yourself. Whether it is a partner whom you are choosing in life, the work which you are choosing, whatever it is that you are choosing, it should be Annam, means that which sustains, that which can take you further. Growth means it can facilitate your upward movement, your growth in that field. And that which gives nutrition means the ingredients are good and you get a lot of strength. Even these Sunday sessions, see, this is food for the soul, food for your entire personality, we can say. So, why is it that you are continuing to attend this? This should be the reason, because it helps to sustain your personality, sustain yourself, and it helps you to grow in all the spheres of life, and it gives you a lot of nutrition. Means the highest thoughts are being given, powerful thoughts, powerful principles, and it gives you that strength. Why you asked to do sadhana? Same reason. So if you don't have the investigative spirit, you will not choose things based on all this. You will just go along with what others are doing mechanically. See, today the movies, advertisements, media, they are only ruling you in the sense they are influencing your mind fully. So in some movie, somebody does something, immediately thousands of people do it. One person comes with a different hairstyle in a movie. As there will be nothing, instead of hair being like this, he'll put it down. Immediately lakhs and lakhs, they also put it down and they walk. Without any thinking whether that will suit me or not, or why should I do it. Watching a movie and enjoying it is okay, but to get completely influenced by that, you're selling your personality. Similarly, a news article comes. Some writer writes. It may be about a sports person, it may be about some other celebrity. He is not okay, supposing some person. Immediately everyone says, he's not okay, he's not. Arey, one person has written his view there. It is not a factual news or something. I'm not talking of factual news like this incident happened, that is different. But these columns and all that, where they give their opinion, but thousands of people get influenced by that mechanically without applying their thinking. Nowadays, the OTT platform is there. Different things they keep showing. And the mind just gets influenced by that mechanically. So if you don't do anything about it, if you don't develop this quality, what will happen is after a while your life will be so superficial, so mechanical, and suddenly when you do sadhana, you will not have the necessary capability or capacity to investigate and go within. So that is annam, food. So from this moment onwards, start choosing, start exercising your choice of action based on these things. Now, what are those things which will give me, which will sustain me, which will give me growth, that is, which will take me to the next level in whatever be that field. See, sometimes in work, a boss may not be so pleasant to you. He may be pointing out all your faults and all that. But you need to think, will this take me to the next level? If he is pointing out the faults and you can correct them, it will really take your personality to the next level if you take it positively. I'm not talking about an unreasonable boss who just keeps harassing, not that. Genuinely, when a person is guiding. But the mind doesn't want to accept that, Oh, he is useless. I'll go to a boss who's just being pleasant to me. Then there'll be no growth in that field. So on what basis are you choosing? That is the question. Similarly, whatever input, whatever I am choosing, is that giving me nutrition? Means, is that giving me nutrition and strength? Is it making me more strong in that field? So whether it is music, whether it is dance, whether it is mathematics, science, any field you take, you can apply this. So the practical sadhana application of annam in terms of food is choosing those things in life See, when we talk of sambhavaha, it is how to materialize. When he talks of parjanyaha, we saw a whole thing is there, starting from cloud to rain, and then so many other things also we saw, like Indra, Surya. Now, when it comes to Anna, that is what you get in life, what you're choosing, it is very important for you to choose that which is good for you. So, this is the first dimension of Anna, food. Now, we will see the other dimensions also, which will be very useful for your sadhana. I'll give you a few more. The next dimension of Anna, so on one side it means food. The second dimension of Anna means boiled rice. Boiled rice means cooked food. It's not merely food, but cooked food. Now, that is very interesting. What is the meaning of cooked food? Boiled rice, cooking the food and eating. Now, why is it that you cook food? You cook the food for two reasons. One, to make it more edible, and number two, to make it more tasty. Isn't it? These are the two reasons why we cook food. So, what does that represent with respect to our life? First, we'll see both these aspects, making it more edible and then making it more tasty. So, making it more edible means whenever you do something in life, your actions should not be left in a coarse way, in a harsh way. It should be made refined, and there should be a polish. See, this is what some professionals call as the finishing touches. You should learn that. Supposing you're sending, let's say, a mail or a message to someone. No, just merely typing and immediately you say, no, why can't you spend a little bit of time in ensuring that the spacing is okay, the paragraphs are okay. It will hardly take a few minutes. Even without that, your point will be the message is gone, but it's gone in a coarse way. What is your development because of that action? Nothing. So, a yogi has this quality. In the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he gives the various qualities of a bhakta. One of the qualities he gives is dakshaha. Dakshaha means very smart. Whatever is given to him, he'll do it with polish. In the Mahabharata, they've described, Karna as one who had that polish in archery. You see, one who has that polish will go right on top. It's the same action which many people will do, but who will be really on top is one who does it in a refined way and who gives the finishing touches. See, even when we came up with the first Yoga Sankirtan material, Nirvana Shatkam, I think it came around in 2012 or something, almost 12 years back. Now, what was interesting is, after the recording was over, the mixing was done, and it was sent to me by the sound engineer. I heard it, and there were some people who were helping me, so they also were hearing it for details. I had given them certain parameters, ensure these things are there. All those things were basically there. So I asked them, so how do you find it? I mean, shall we release it now? They said yes. I said no, it's not yet ready for releasing. So they asked me, why, sir? Everything is fine. Told them there are many things which are not okay, so we will be setting that right. And I just made a list, and they were totally surprised, because I made a list of around more than 100 points, small things which need to be bettered. For example, in that portion, which is Nritya Bhav, Shivoham, 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 that portion, if you notice, after one line of my singing, the sitar will come. After the second line, the instrument, that Vudukai, will come. There is a very deep reason for that. One represents the female energy and the other is a male energy, and I'm coming in the center. It's a powerful energy flow which has been created. But that apart, I told them, for example, that Vudukai sound, the volume, I want it to be increased by 1 dB. It was already good only, but if it is increased by 1 more dB, it will be better, the volume of that. So like that, many points at different places, in this portion, this can be reduced a little bit. So when the sound engineer saw that, what she said was, 1 dB will not make a difference, Yogishri. This is what she said. I said, no, it will make a difference. You close your eyes and listen to it. She did that. After increasing it to 1 dB, then she closed her eyes and listened to that. She said, yes, you're right. It makes a difference. I said, you're suddenly listening to it. If you listen to it with the flow, you will then only know the real difference, what I'm asking for. Now, even without all those that fine tuning, what everybody felt was that it was ready for releasing. But I said, no, let's not compromise. Let us see, this is the time. We have to give that finishing touches, that polish has to be there. Fortunately, for all these projects, we got sound engineers who were able to tune into my frequency. That's very important, because the sound engineer is not tuned into my frequency. Now it will become very difficult for me. Even in Sri Hanumat Dhyana, Om Saravana Bhava Dhyana, Mahaganapat Dhyana, after the mixing came out, mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 3.1, mix 3.4, just to ensure that, these volume levels and from where it's coming from, right side or left side, or from, it took a lot of time. Many times they had to redo it. So when you are listening to that, you will not know all those details. For you, the impact will be so terrific, it will just raise your energies, you will go off into deep meditation. But the work which has been done, I am not even talking of from the energy point of view, I am not talking of the spiritual work. That is, you will not have a machine to measure how much of spiritual effort has been put in. So we'll leave that. Just from the worldly point of view, from the sound engineering point of view, so much has been done. If you notice in Sri Hanumat Dhyana, when the speech is on, the flute volume, I had asked them to increase it a little more than the other yoga sankirtans. Notice it. You may not even have noticed it. Why? Because there was a particular reason. There was a particular vibration which I wanted, which incidentally the flute artist had given because of the divine grace that it came. So right at the outset, when that is given, it will be very useful for me to further create the energy pattern. It will be extremely beneficial for you all. So much goes into it. So I am giving you this as an example. So in life, you should always not be happy with merely performing some action. Ensure that your actions have that polish. The finishing touches are extremely important. This is one thing in terms of cooked food, boiled rice, The other thing is the taste. You like the food to be tasty. That is why you are cooking it. You cook it in a particular way, isn't it? You add other ingredients, you add some chili powder, you add all in specific proportions so that you get tasty food. Similarly, whenever you are doing something in life, whatever it is that you are choosing, take some time out and make it very tasty, as it were, There is a poetic expression when we say tasty. See, the first person, when you are doing something, the first person who comes to know about it is you yourself. So you should be able to appreciate it and say, this is really good. Then only others will come and appreciate it. So you should have that satisfaction, just as when you are eating food and it's very tasty, you get that satisfaction, that happiness. Similarly, in whatever it is that you're doing or whatever things you're choosing, you should have that feel good factor and satisfaction. You should not leave it till you get that feeling. Don't worry about others noticing it or not noticing it. Just do it because that's the right way it has to be done. I remember long back, that is 1994, which is almost more than 30 years back. I was in Delhi. Some people had invited me for conducting a corporate seminar, in-house program, And before the program started, I was there, and it happened in their premises only. It's a very powerful group of companies. It was meant for the top management. It was on leadership, And the head of the group was, he had come out to receive me, and then he took me to his cabin, and he was just gently briefing me. Another 5-10 minutes were left, So when we were just having a chat, at that time, one of his workers, supervisors, came and knocked, and he said, "Yeah, come in." He told me, "Yogishri, I'm really sorry. Just give me a couple of minutes because it's something very important. Otherwise, he'll not come and disturb." So they were into manufacturing the various bearings and things like that, which are used inside the machines. Nobody will even see that. So many other products also. So he had brought one particular piece, and there was a line on that, some kind of a, some mark. It looked like a cut mark. So when this person saw, he said, "Sir, can we still use it because nobody is going to see it?" He said, "No. You either get this right or you discard this and get a new one." The reason, he gave the reason also, because see, yes, you're right, nobody is going to see it, it's not going to matter in terms of functionality and all that. But I am concerned about your attitude, he said. Nobody is going to see it, so let's leave it. That kind of an attitude. You're not even trying to set it right. Now, if I allow that, he was guiding the supervisor. If I allow that, now tomorrow you will start compromising on the quality more and more. So I want you to practice this. The supervisor said, "Yes, sir," and he left. Now I was just watching this, and I immediately understood why this person is in the top position. Because of this quality, uncompromising quality. He deserves that position. He was the head of the entire thing, very humble and unassuming. So I just told him, "Listen, this is one of the principles which I give in my courses. You are already practicing it. You're not knowing that you're practicing." He said, "Is it, sir? So happy." And so any achiever, they will practice these two things. One is the edibility, that is, I just now told you, that polish, that finishing touches. The second thing is they will be satisfied with their product or their action. They are not going to act for others. Their actions will give them happiness first. So when you are cooking food and when you eat it, it should be tasty for you. So incorporate these two elements in your life. So you are living in your home. Why not make the home more artistic, more nice? You hardly spend any time on all these things. Some people say, I know a man who, "Idhalam edhuk sir," which means, why all this? In Tamil they say, "Eno thanon pandranga." Means, eno thanon means, how to translate that? Just simply doing things without any refinement, That is not the right way. That's why the great saint Avayar, she said in Tamil, "Kandayanalum kasakikattu." Kandayanalum kasakikattu means even if your clothes are worn out, you wash it and make it neat and then wear. Some people think Avayar's message is, you wear worn out clothes. See, the foolish mind will interpret it like that only. There the focus is not on the worn out clothes. She's saying even if it is worn out, you ensure that it is neat and washed properly, clean and neat. Beautiful saying, "Kandayanalam kasakikattu," which means according to your finances, beautify things. Make them, just as you make the food tasty and eat it, make all aspects of your life so nice for yourself, for your mind, according to your financial capacity only, because some people take this to the extreme and they take loans and all to beautify things, Don't do that. Within your capacity, keep your things as neat as possible, as tasty. Make your food tasty, means make your, whatever it is that you're experiencing in life, make it really wonderful. Whether it is your living room, whether it is your dining room, whether it is your bedroom, whether it is your bathroom, whatever it is, to your capacity. Whether it's a clothes which you're wearing. Now, when you do this, what will happen is your taste will become so refined. See, when it comes to the higher sadhana, you require that polish and that higher taste. So, you can easily apply this as you advance in spirituality. See, we are building the mind, we are building the personality through the application of these principles. Otherwise, we are per se not interested in that, merely that. We are not going to stop with that. But that helps in refining your personality. And that is what is necessary for spiritual growth. A yogi has a very refined personality. See, as you tune in more and more inward, you should be very refined, polished to be able to notice your own emotions, subtle emotions, to be able to notice your own thoughts. When it comes to karmas, it requires enormous fine-tuning and refinement. So, practice of this will really help. So, annam means food. Annam means boiled rice, that is representative of cooked food. Then, the next dimension of annam. Annam means earth. Now, what is the significance of earth? Earth represents being grounded. See, it's very interesting. Just in the previous step, he talked of Parjanya, which is a cloud. Cloud is floating very high above, right? Now, he says earth, which is being grounded. See the poetic construction. It's so beautiful, So, you should meditate, you should do the sadhana, you should take empowerments, you should really float in that infinite consciousness. But when you are functioning in the world, you should be grounded, practical. You should never leave the practicality. You see, every master demonstrated this. When a master teaches, he will teach the highest principles. But when he is acting, he will be very grounded. He will do whatever is required in order to achieve that goal. Most people, in the name of spirituality, they leave out this aspect. So when you have this combination of lofty thoughts, that is lofty thinking, lofty emotions, very high spiritual advancement, but at the same time being grounded and practical in action, now that person is truly a karma yogi. That is only karma yoga. So there are many people in the name of spirituality, they start neglecting their duties at home. One person, he used to say, after attending these sessions, he started giving lectures to his wife and children and all. When they used to watch TV programs, they used to go and switch off the TV, It's such a rude action. Somebody is enjoying something, you simply go and switch off. Why? These are all mundane things, Don't go for all this. Go for the best. God. Do sadhana. Actually, their entire family were against spirituality. They were against me also. Because they were thinking this is what I am teaching. One day accidentally his wife happened to hear one of my discourses and she saw, oh my God, this is what Yogishri is teaching. It's my husband who has totally misunderstood this. She sent a mail to me saying, this is what is happening, sir. He was known to me personally, so I told him, this is wrong, what you're doing. You should remain grounded. So there is that tendency for the mind to slip. See, the moment we talk of practicality, you may get completely involved in this. Or when we talk of higher things, now you may get so involved there that you leave the practicality. Both are wrong. So one leg should be up, one leg should be down. Like the Vamana avatar, one leg up, one leg down. That's a very beautiful incident, no? So Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who was known to be a bhakta, so people have seen, used to see him getting lost in the bhajans and all that. They thought he was getting into a trance and all that. Now, one day, one person, when he was in the deep state, apparently it looked as if he was completely disconnected. Two of his students were talking, oh, he has lost all consciousness and all that. To which he immediately replied, when I am meditating on consciousness, how can I lose consciousness? So these two the students were, shocked to hear their master answer them. Not only that, I believe he taught one of his students to bargain and buy the vegetables in the market. He taught him, took him and taught him how to select vegetables, which one is good, and like lady's finger, the edge they'll break and see whether it's good or not. All that he is supposed to have taught. And he demonstrated things like, just to show that you have to be grounded. Otherwise, he doesn't need to do all that. Like one day they took him to a place and he had this ability. He used to note all the objects and come and repeat what are all the objects which were there and what were the objects which were there and where were they. Everything he used to tell. See, so much of observation capacity, all that he displayed. It's not only Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, all the great masters were like that. See, they'll always have two aspects. One is they'll be like a cloud, completely detached at a different frequency. At the same time, the other aspect is they'll have the earth aspect. They'll be completely grounded. They'll be able to guide you in every practical aspect of life. So, your personality should always be balanced. It is the grounding which gives you that balance. So, when you're learning these higher principles, don't forget this principle of being grounded and practical. So that is why I gave you the first empowerment of Kaya Tattva, which is the health aspect, balancing the elements, eating the right kind of food. What has that got to do with infinite, merging with the infinite consciousness? Directly, it may not, but that helps you to remain grounded. You will have to take care of all the aspects of life. See, our yogis were so grounded that they divided life into 12 aspects and said, in each aspect you have to be, you have to follow those principles, and you have to be perfect. Whether it's finance, a true yogi will know how to handle finance. Many people think if you are a duffer, you don't know anything, then you are a yogi. I don't know how these ideas have, these wrong ideas have crept into people's minds. There are many people who think if a person doesn't know to handle money, they think it's a very positive thing. It's a spiritual quality. If you don't even know how to handle wealth, money, how will you be able to handle the infinite energy? So Shri Shakti is one aspect of the infinite only. This is the significance of that quality, Dakshaha, the 12th chapter. One who is street smart. Anything you give him, he will be smart enough to do that. Ask him to drive a car, he'll learn. See, if you don't know something, that is different. But if a necessity comes, he'll learn that. And he'll do it in a pakka way. You ask him to pack something, he'll do it properly. And he will not hesitate to learn something when he doesn't know. See, this is also a key factor in being grounded. A yogi is a very good learner. Sometimes when very successful people come and meet me and they tell me their story, I ask them, so what were you to, several years back, so how did you achieve this level? So they tell me, this is what I practiced, sir, this is what I did, this is what I did. Now, that is so nice to hear that. I learn a lot. Now, when I tell them I am learning from you, they'll say, sir, what is this, sir? We have come to learn. See, that's why I don't tell this openly. But there is so much to learn from everyone and everything in life. So, a yogi will be so grounded that he is extremely practical. He will do whatever is required to do in a proper way. And if he doesn't know something, he will ask, he will learn. He will never hesitate. See, these are the qualities which you require to practice in order to attain prosperity and growth, which is the next step. From food arise beings. When we come there, we'll see that. But he's starting off from sacrifice arises out of action, and then from sacrifice arises rain, parjanya, from rain arises food, and then finally the positive result is given. So at every step, if you absorb these specific principles and start implementing them in your life, you will come to the fourth step. One is a study of this, the other is practically doing it. Many people, when they come for advice, like for example, a person has a legal issue. They'll say, Yogishri, this is what the issue is, what should I do? I immediately ask them, so what did your lawyer say? They said, I have not gone to a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. After going to a lawyer, and the lawyer says, do these things, if you require more clarity, then if you ask me, there is some meaning. I have to tell them, first you go to a lawyer. You have a legal problem, you should go to a lawyer, no? It's like if you have a plumbing issue in your house, let us say some plumbing problem is there. Yogishri, what should I do? I mean, I'm not a plumber to come and fix, no? First call a plumber and do that. See, this is what is being grounded. So when a person is just merely floating like a cloud, the cloud, I gave you the significance of that. But here, what I mean by merely floating is being impractical. Then even in spirituality, they'll be very impractical. They'll just come to the Guru and say, oh, you are my Guru. Now I surrender to you and I know that you will uplift me. They will not do anything. No sadhana, no practice of any principle, nothing. They'll just simply keep talking, the high philosophy. They'll talk, the world is an illusion and this, that. They'll keep saying like this. See, Lord Krishna, he was a Jagat Guru. He was called a Jagat Guru, right? He was an avatar. But only where it was necessary, where Arjuna asked him, he spoke. Prior to that, to the Gopikas, he gave a discourse about what love is, unconditional love. Similarly, before he left the body, he gave out the Bhagavad Gita to his dear friend Uddhava. Even in other places, several other places, the practical application he did speak. Like when they were all worshipping Lord Indra, he suggested why not we worship the Govardhana mountain, because that is our bread and butter, no? Being cowherds, our cows go and graze in that hill only. Similarly, when Jarasandha was attacking Mathura, Krishna suggested, why all this war and all that? We can avoid that. We will build a new city and go. Even when the Pandavas were given the Kandava Prastha, which was just barren land, now Krishna guided them. He said, no, don't worry. If the land is barren, something has been given to you. Let us make the best possible use of that. He brought in the best architect and made them build. So, Lord Krishna exhibited this. He being an avatar is always in that infinite consciousness, but he was extremely practical. I told you about the planning of, when Arjuna took an oath in an impractical way, I'll kill Jayadratha, otherwise I'll fall into the fire and all that. Krishna had a backup plan. I mentioned that a few sessions back, no? And someone had also asked this question, Krishna being an avatar, doesn't he know the past, present and future? Why should he plan and all that? And this is the reason. Any master will be extremely grounded, practical. See, that I did, when I answered that question, I mentioned, kindly come out of these imaginary thoughts. See, you just imagine how a spiritual person should be. You think a spiritual person will just be with his eyes closed all the time and always be in a trance. It's not like that. He'll be very much grounded. That is represented by earth. So, one is food, the other is cooked food. So, in food I gave you several things. That which sustains you, that which gives you growth, that which gives you nutrition and strength. You use all these parameters now to choose things in life. Then in cooked food, I gave you two criteria. One is edibility, that polish, not keeping it raw. Uncooked food represents rawness, but cooked food represents that polish, finishing touches, and then making it tasty. So, whatever it is that you have in life today, make it better. Make it so nice, comfortable and beautiful. That is in your hands. And then earth element, that is being very much grounded and practical. So this combination, be a cloud on one hand and be the earth on the other hand. These two elements are there in you. To be a cloud means to think very high, to fly in that infinite consciousness, but at the same time keep your feet on the ground. What a combination. A karma yogi has this combination. So spirituality is not about mere close-tight meditation alone, or just simply talking very high philosophy. No, you have to show it in action. Practically, when you are acting, how calm are you? That is the test of spirituality. People may talk very high but may be very agitated if you give them a few responsibilities. They'll get so worked up and tense, then there is no use. So earth represents that. Okay, so we'll stop with that here. I've given some very powerful tools for you to, you reflect on these, and it's very easy to apply these things in life. See, the finishing touches, and then making your life more artistic and tasty, that the poetic word is tasty. So these things are so easy. Whatever it is that you're using today, let me make my desk more neat. Just go and look at your desk. It'll all be so many things in a confused state. Make it more orderly and neat. That is a very good practice for your mind. See, you should do this consciously, not mechanically. How are you keeping your things in your shelf? Sometimes people dump everything in the shelf and then close it. That's why I never take the risk of, even if they say I don't open anybody's shelf, even if they give permission, because sometimes when you open the shelf, everything will fall on you. They would have dumped it, It shouldn't be like that. Everything should be well organized. And then being grounded. So all these things are so easily, can be so easily practiced. Do that this week. It's a very good homework which will in a measurable way, practical way, this will give you a lot of spiritual growth. Try it out and see. If you want to become a karma yogi, if you want to become a yogi, not that I'll be a karma yogi, not a jnana yogi. A yogi is a yogi, and when he does action, he'll be a karma yogi. When he thinks, he'll be a jnana yogi. When he feels, he'll be a bhakti yogi. And then when he meditates, he'll be a dhyana yogi. Whatever he does, being a yogi is a center. That is what you should aim at. Okay. So before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I'll take up one question. Ashok ji has asked us, Hari Om Guruji, thank you for the wonderful experience. So many things he has, the points and all he has given. So then the question, sir, a few sessions ago it was said to find where the ego within me is. During the search, I also remember that it was said not to be judgmental. Yes. So I do not understand, I do understand the concept, but if I appreciate someone for a good work done, is that being judgmental? Thank you, Guruji. It's a very interesting question which has been asked. So when you appreciate someone for the good work which that person has done, is that being judgmental? This is a question. So it's always been said, don't be judgmental, no? Now, being judgmental has nothing to do with your external act of appreciating someone or pointing out a fault in that person's work. See, in life, it all depends, what is your position. Sometimes when someone is working under you and that person is not working to that level according to the, whatever is required, you may have to point out and say, see, what you're doing here is wrong, I want it like this. That is not criticizing. Similarly, if you genuinely find some work which a person has done which is excellent, then you may appreciate what you did is really good. Now, this is at the action level. Being judgmental or being non-judgmental, that is at the mental level. You are confusing between these two. It means when you appreciate a person that your work is good, it can be judgmental or it can be non-judgmental, both. Similarly, when you point a fault in somebody's work, it can be judgmental, it can be said with a judgmental attitude, or it can be non-judgmental also. Being non-judgmental means being factual. If you say this work is good, no, this work is not good, that is not necessarily being judgmental. So, the judgment that is being judgmental or being non-judgmental, that comes before the action. You don't analyze the action and find out whether a person has been judgmental or not. Supposing you may not manifest it at all, you may not say anything, but in your mind you may be so judgmental. Judgmental means concluding something without knowing anything in detail and then branding that person. All this happens within you, in your mind, at your thought level, and then that will manifest in all your actions. So whether you appreciate, whether you point of, or whatever it is that you, or even if you don't do anything, if you're just keeping quiet, just looking at the other person, you look at the other person in a very judgmental way. Some people are like that, they just look at the other person like this. They may not say anything, but they'll be highly judgmental. See, if you become perceptive as you do your sadhana properly and you grow, you will get these skills where you'll be able to see what is going on in the other person's mind. And it is very interesting. See, seeing others' minds is like watching some super hit movies, Sometimes the mind projects better things than what is projected on the screen. Or rather, it projects things in a better way, I would say. So each one's mannerism, how they think, how they function, it's very interesting. And then when you go further, you will be able to read the energy pattern easily. That is an all further advanced level. So, coming back to this, you are confusing between the attitude and action. Is this clear? This is a very important point. It's good that Ashokji has asked this question. This answer will be useful to all the sadhaks. So, never ever mix up action with attitude. The same thing can be done with several attitudes. See, even tamas, rajas, sattva, even though in the 18th chapter he says tamasic action, rajasic action, tattvik action, you will see that he will only be talking about the attitude. Sir, I am doing this action. Is it tamasic, tamas, rajas or sattva? It can be all three. Sir, this person is taking rest. Is he a tamasic person? Maybe. If he is doing that because of laziness, it is tamasic. If he is doing that because of the high stress, then that is rajasic. If he is doing that because rest is required for him to be, continue with his work more professionally, more productively, then it becomes sattvic. The action being one, the attitudes can be many. So what I am teaching you here in this yogic approach is not to assess based on actions. You don't need to wait till then. You should probe and understand what is happening inside. Then only comes action. So, in Karma Yoga, we refine the attitude and perform our day-to-day activities. The activities will be the same only. If you are a business person, you will continue to do business. But earlier, you were doing it with a different attitude. Now you will do it in a Karma Yogic way. Is this clear? It's a very important point. I want all the sadhaks to just make a note of this point, because many a times that confusion comes. Okay, so now we'll have the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my emotions and thoughts, I exist as the pure consciousness. My consciousness is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to practice the principle of Annam in my life. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today I gave you a lot of practical points which you can easily implement in your life. So you should not waste time, When you hear these things, at the next opportunity, you should start implementing them. See, when you show that kind of dynamism, then the Guru Shakti will also start guiding you more at every step. So whatever you are absorbing, whatever you are convinced about, whatever it is that appeals to you, you should immediately practice. You should not leave a gap. If you leave a gap, then that is tamas. One day I will practice. Some people say, when is that one day going to come? It is this moment, today only. Okay. Then regarding the 22-day course, the Divine Science of Relationships, the preparatory healing Shakti is being sent to all those who have registered. Many sadhaks have sent messages saying that wonderful things have started happening after they registered for the course. Yes, that's because of the preparatory healing energy which is being sent, and your commitment to better your life, your commitment to learn this divine science. See, that itself will start attracting positive things into your life. Two months before the course, you may be having some relationship issue, so you may register saying, I will hope I get a solution. But before you come to the course itself, you never know. You may receive the healing and that relationship issue may get resolved. It's very interesting. The divine science of relationships is much more higher than merely resolving the relationship issues. It is aimed towards a complete emotional purification and making you very, very powerful emotionally, strong and balanced, and then creating whatever you want in this aspect of relationships in your life. So it is not about solving your small issues alone. That also is included, but it is not restricted to that. These empowerments are much more higher. Okay? So I'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.